and our most authentic selves. The freedom to choose can feel like a double-edged sword. On one side, there's the exhilaration of knowing you are the author of your own life, the artist shaping the clay of your own being. But on the flip side, there's a weight that settles in. The weight of knowing that every decision, every brushstroke is yours, and yours alone. This is the existential angst that Sartre spoke of, a feeling of unease that arises from the realization that there is no predetermined path, no cosmic rulebook to guide us. It's the weight of the world on our shoulders, the knowledge that we are responsible for the choices we make and the consequences that follow. We feel this angst most acutely when confronted with major life decisions, choosing a career path, ending a relationship, or grappling with a difficult ethical dilemma. The stakes feel high. The potential for regret looms large. It's tempting in these moments to wish for a simpler time, when our paths were laid out before us, when the weight of choice rested on someone else's shoulders. But to yearn for such a time is to yearn for an illusion. The truth is, even when we believe our choices are being made for us, we are still choosing. Choosing to conform, choosing to relinquish our autonomy, choosing to let others dictate the course of our lives. And that, in itself, is a choice with its own set of consequences. It's tempting to view anxiety as an unwelcome guest, an intruder in our otherwise peaceful emotional landscape. We medicate it, distract ourselves from it, or try to banish it altogether. But what if, instead of fearing anxiety, we learned to listen to its whispers? What if, beneath the surface of our discomfort, lay a profound message, a guiding light pointing us towards our own growth and evolution? Existential anxiety, in its purest form, is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that we are awake. It's a signal that we are no longer content to sleepwalk through life, to follow the path of least resistance, to simply exist rather than truly live. This feeling of unease, this subtle but persistent hum of discomfort, is the sound of our own awakening, the stirring of our soul's deepest desires. When we resist this anxiety, when we try to numb it or push it away, we risk silencing the very voice that is trying to guide us towards our own liberation. We risk settling for a life that is safe and comfortable, but ultimately unfulfilling, a life that falls short of our true potential. But when we embrace our anxiety, when we lean into the discomfort and allow ourselves to truly feel it, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We begin to see that on the other side of fear lies growth. On the other side of uncertainty lies adventure, and on the other side of our comfort zone lies the life we were always meant to live. Growth, by its very nature, is an uncomfortable process. It requires us to shed old skins, to confront limiting beliefs, to step outside the familiar and embrace the unknown. It's a process of continual becoming, of shedding outdated versions of ourselves and stepping into a more expansive and authentic way of being. And it's often in those moments of greatest discomfort, when we feel most lost and uncertain, that the most profound transformations occur. Imagine a seed buried beneath the weight of the earth. It's a dark and seemingly hopeless existence, confined by the very elements that are essential for its growth. But within that seed lies a blueprint for something greater, a dormant potential waiting to be unleashed. And it's the pressure, the resistance of the soil that ultimately forces the seed to crack open, to send its roots deep into the earth, and to reach for the light. We too are like that seed, carrying within us the potential for extraordinary growth and transformation. But that growth can only occur when we are willing to embrace the discomfort, to lean into the resistance, and to trust that even in the darkest of moments there is a force within us guiding us towards the light. This is not to say that growth is easy, or that it should be pursued at all costs. There will be times when we need to rest, to tend to our wounds, and to simply allow ourselves to be where we are. But if we find ourselves consistently avoiding discomfort, if we're always choosing the path of least resistance, we risk missing out on the very experiences that have the power to shape us into the people we are meant to become. In the tapestry of our lives, choices are the threads from which our experiences are woven. Each decision, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, contributes to the overall pattern, the intricate design that becomes our unique story. But how often do we make choices consciously, with a clear understanding of our motivations and a willingness to embrace the full weight of our agency? The art of conscious choosing begins with awareness. It's about pausing, even for a breath, before reacting, before allowing ourselves to be swept away by the currents of habit, societal expectation, or the fear of the unknown. It's about cultivating a sense of presence in the midst of our daily lives, a willingness to step back from the autopilot of routine and to ask ourselves, what do I truly want in this moment? What choice aligns with my values, my aspirations, my deepest desires for myself and for the world around me? This practice of conscious choosing is not about striving for perfection or beating ourselves up when we inevitably fall short of our own expectations. It's about cultivating a sense of gentle curiosity, a willingness to explore the terrain of our own hearts and minds, to understand the motivations behind our actions, and to make choices that are rooted in self-awareness and a deep sense of integrity. It's about recognizing that even in the most challenging of circumstances, when our options seem limited or when we feel trapped by the weight of our responsibilities, we always have a choice. We can choose our attitude, our mindset, the energy we bring to each interaction. We can choose to focus on what we can control, to find moments of joy in the midst of suffering, to approach each day with a sense of gratitude and wonder, even when life throws us curveballs. Living in alignment is not a destination we arrive at, it's a continuous journey, a daily practice of checking in with ourselves, of recalibrating our internal compass, and of making small but significant course corrections as we navigate the ever-changing terrain of our lives. It's about bringing awareness to the choices we make, the actions we take, and the ways in which we engage with the world around us, and ensuring that these align with our deepest values and aspirations. One powerful way to cultivate this alignment is to identify our core values, the guiding principles that shape our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. These values might include honesty, integrity, compassion, creativity, authenticity, or any other principles that resonate with our deepest selves. Once we have identified these values, we can use them as a touchstone, a framework for making decisions and taking actions that are in alignment with who we truly are and who we aspire to become. Another important aspect of living in alignment is learning to listen to our intuition, that quiet inner voice that often speaks to us in whispers, guiding us towards our own truth and authenticity. This voice may not always be logical or rational, it may not always lead us down the easiest path, but it is always there, waiting to be heard, offering us subtle nudges and gentle guidance as we navigate the complexities of our lives. Living in alignment is not about striving for perfection or beating ourselves up when we inevitably fall short of our own expectations. It's about approaching ourselves with compassion and understanding, recognizing that we are all works in progress and offering ourselves the same grace and forgiveness that we would extend to a loved one. It's about celebrating our successes, learning from our mistakes, and continuing to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose and intention. One of the most liberating aspects of existential freedom is the realization that we are not defined by our past, by our mistakes, our regrets, or the paths not taken. Every moment presents an opportunity to begin again, to make a different choice, to step onto a new path, and to create a future that is not bound by the limitations of our past experiences. This courage to begin again requires a willingness to embrace vulnerability, to acknowledge our imperfections, and to release the need for certainty or control. It means accepting that life is a journey, not a destination, and that the true beauty of the journey lies in its inherent unpredictability. It's easy to get caught in the trap of believing that we've missed our chance, that it's too late to change course, that the mistakes of our past have somehow disqualified us from creating a future filled with joy, meaning, and fulfillment. But the truth is, there is no statute of limitations on new beginnings. Every breath we take, every step we take, is an opportunity to step into a new version of ourselves, to create a life that aligns with our evolving values and aspirations. It's a reminder that our stories are not written in stone, they are fluid, dynamic, and ever unfolding. And we, as the authors of our own lives, have the power to pick up the pen at any moment and begin writing a new chapter, one that is filled with hope, possibility, and the unwavering belief in our own capacity for growth and transformation. You are free. It's a truth whispered on the wind, echoing through the chambers of your heart, a truth woven into the very fabric of your being. But this freedom, this extraordinary gift, is not without its weight. It's a weight that can feel both exhilarating and terrifying, a paradox that sits at the very core of what it means to be human. We long for freedom, crave the autonomy to make our own choices, to carve our own paths through the wilderness of existence. Yet, when confronted with the vast expanse of our own potential, the sheer magnitude of possibility, a tremor of fear can ripple through us. What if we choose wrong? What if we fail to live up to our own expectations, or worse yet, the expectations of others? It's in these moments of doubt, when the weight of freedom feels heaviest, that we must remember. This is not a burden to be borne alone. The universe in its infinite wisdom does not demand perfection, but rather a willingness to embrace the journey, to learn and grow from our experiences, to find beauty and meaning in the messy, imperfect tapestry of our lives. The courage to embrace our freedom lies not in banishing our fears, but in befriending them. It's in acknowledging the weight of our choices, the potential for both triumph and regret, and choosing to step boldly into the unknown, trusting that even if we stumble, we have the strength to rise again, wiser and more compassionate for the fall. Imagine for a moment that you're an artist standing before a blank canvas. The world has told you what to paint, offered up 1,000 pre-sketched designs, a symphony of expectations whispered in your ear. But you, my friend, have the freedom to choose. You hold the brush, you select the colors, you create the world you wish to see. This is the essence of existential freedom. The radical notion that we are not simply characters in someone else's story, bound by the limitations of fate or destiny. We are the authors of our own lives, the architects of our own experiences, the creators of our own meaning. It's a truth that can feel both daunting and exhilarating, this understanding that we are not beholden to any predetermined path, that we have the power to shape the very fabric of our reality through the choices we make, the actions we take, the energy we bring to each and every moment. But within this responsibility lies incredible liberation. It's the freedom to break free from the shackles of expectation, to challenge the status quo, to paint outside the lines, to create a masterpiece that is uniquely and authentically your own. It's a call to live with intention, to embrace the unknown, to dance with the uncertainty, and to trust that the universe will conspire to support you every step of the way. The courage to choose is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. It's the quiet voice within that whispers, "Yes, I am afraid, but I choose to move forward anyway." It's the deep knowing that true freedom is not found in the absence of obstacles, but in the way we choose to navigate them. Every day we are presented with 1,000 tiny choices, 1,000,000 different paths we could take. Some are well-worn and familiar, offering the comfort of routine and predictability. Others beckon us towards the unknown, a symphony of what-ifs echoing in our minds. It's in these moments, at the crossroads of decision, that we must summon the courage to listen to our own hearts, to trust our intuition, and to choose the path that feels most aligned with our authentic selves, even if it means venturing off the beaten path. The path less traveled is often fraught with uncertainty, with the potential for both breathtaking beauty and unexpected challenges. But it's on this path, the path of conscious choosing, that we discover the true depth of our own strength, resilience, and capacity for growth. It's here, in the heart of the unknown, that we shed the layers of who we thought we were and step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. So embrace the unknown, choose courage over comfort, trust the whispers of your own heart. The world is waiting to witness the masterpiece you were born to create.